Hey, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm Olivia and I'm a gender-affirming voice teacher, and today I'm going to talk about masculine perceived resonance. So what makes a voice masculine perceived? Is it just the low pitches that we're hearing, or are there other elements that play into the voice that create that sound quality? When it comes to vocal masculinization, we do have some hormone therapy, testosterone or T, that does change the voice. However, testosterone is limited in what elements of the voice it will change. So today I'm going to talk about what testosterone does for your voice and what it doesn't do. I'm going to talk about what impact resonance has on the gender perception of the voice. And I'm also going to talk about how to shift your voice to a more masculine perceived resonance, whether you are choosing to go on T or not. So let's get started. Taking testosterone results in longer and thicker vocal cords, which result in those lower pitched voices. It can take up to 2 years of vocal instability to kind of reach a point where you feel really comfortable and stable at this new pitch range. This takes time because as our vocal cords are growing slowly, they're going to have to relearn how to function. They're going to be relearning how to engage in different registers of your voice and how to come together in a really healthy way. The lengthening of the vocal cords and the lowering of the pitch is a permanent change. So it's important when you're considering whether or not to take testosterone that you're talking with your doctor about this permanence of this change in your voice, and of how long it's going to take to kind of feel stable in this new pitch range. So the vocal cords live inside a cartilage structure inside your throat here that's called the larynx. And the larynx sits right on top of the trachea or the windpipe. Now, someone who is assigned male at birth and goes through a testosterone puberty, when their vocal cords get longer and thicker, that larynx is going to grow as well. When someone takes testosterone exogenously, that larynx is not going to grow in the same way. Those vocal folds are going to grow, but we don't get the same growth in the cartilage structure. So that lack of growth can lead to that instability, and the reason that it takes so long to kind of find and settle into that new pitch range. But it's also something that affects the resonance of the voice, which we'll talk about in a second. So if you're not taking testosterone, is it possible to masculinize your voice? While there's going to be a physical limit to how low you can take your voice, you can work on the exercises I'm going to show you to work on resonance. So whether you're taking testosterone or not, we're going to use the same exercise to work on resonance. So resonance has nothing to do with pitch, but it's interesting because you can kind of trick your ear into thinking that you're hearing a lower note when it's actually just a darker sound. When we start to make a sound, our vocal cords vibrate inside of our larynx and create a buzzing sound. So they're just vibrating together, and that sound then travels through what we call the vocal tract, which is all the space up through your oral cavity, nasal cavity, and then out your lips. So depending on the size of that vocal tract, you get different sound qualities. So that larynx size is also a part of the vocal tract. So larger spaces are going to give us darker sounds, and smaller spaces are going to give us brighter sounds. The reason for that is that we have actually frequencies inside of the space. So we have kind of like a pitch, a frequency inside the space of the vocal tract itself. So that frequency for larger spaces is going to be a lower frequency. So when that buzzing sound travels through the space of that lower frequency kind of colors the pitch and gives it that darker quality. Same with brighter sounds. When we have sounds that are traveling through a smaller vocal tract, it's going to give us a brighter sound because we have a higher frequency within that space. So in order to achieve a darker, more masculine perceived resonance, we want to create a larger vocal tract. So how do we do that? So let me give you an example of a bright sound and a dark sound at the exact same pitch. So if I sing a pitch like this, and then I change my vocal tract position, oh, hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? That's all changing the resonance. That pitch is staying at the same place. So they sound pretty different, right? They sound kind of like it would be lower or higher, but it's that same fundamental frequency. I'm just changing the shape of my vocal tract. So you can think about like different singers. If you like to listen to singers, like an opera singer might sound like this, so that's more of a dark sound, versus like a musical theater singer might sound like, yes, I'm a musical theater singer. So a little bit of a brighter sound. So those are kind of associated with those styles, those brighter versus darker sounds. So how can we achieve this? First, we're gonna think about the tongue position. I want you to say the vowel sound like UH, and notice where your tongue is in your mouth. My tongue is flat at the bottom of my mouth, and I'm noticing that my jaw is kind of slack when I say that. Okay? So that means I'm creating a lot of big open space inside my oral cavity. Next, we're going to put a hand here on your throat where your larynx is, and we're going to say again, but like we're exhausted after a long day of work. So if you say so you can watch my larynx here when I do that. You can see it's actually moving down. So you can try to feel that with your hands or look into a mirror. And that's creating a larger vocal tract because that larynx is lowering down and there's more space from the vocal cords all the way to the lips. So our goal with masculine perceived resonance is to create that larger space, whether we're saying or we're saying any other vowels that we say. So we're just gonna try the days of the week and we're gonna say before each day and see if we can kind of keep that same position as we go into the day of the week. So it'll sound like this. Monday. Tuesday. Wednesday. Thursday. Friday. Saturday. Sunday. So you can give this a try with different sentences, different phrases that you say often, like whatever drink you order at the coffee shop or whatever. And let me know how this goes for you. But this is a great way to kind of create more space, more darkness, more of that masculine perceived tone quality without doing anything other than adjusting your vocal tract position. Keep me posted if you have any other questions. Write those down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.